Guys, this is Adam, and this is my newer Grixas controlled deck for standard. I made a few changes, and I didn't really want to take down the other video because some of you guys could use that deck for particular purposes. But I took the deck and I implemented it a little bit, and I'm about to show you what I've done, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's get started. All right. So there's not a few changes, so excuse me if I don't go over like everything. You can watch everything from my other prior video, Grixis Control Deck Tech. But we got a Deadlock Trap. It's 3 when it enters tapped, and you get 2 energy when it enters. You can pay 1 energy, and it taps a target creature or planeswalker. Its activated abilities cannot be activated this turn. So, like, for instance, let's say Gideon's on the field, and this has already been in play. It's untapped. You could spend an energy and tap Gideon so he can't swing at you, or just tap down a really big creature before combat so it doesn't you don't have to take as much damage. So I found like that's the best source of way to get around some of the aggro mid-range builds, since we're running control and control's a little bit slower right now. So I figured this would be like one of the best answers because you're not always going to get Dynavolt Tower. But yes, it works super well with Dynavolt. Cast Anticipate, get your 2 energy, spend 1 of the energy to tap down something. I mean, they synergize really well with each other, so I feel like it's a really good piece. Yes, I went down to 2 towers because I kept playing the 4 or 3, and it just wasn't really working well for me because it was always the giant hassle just to find 1 tower by turn 3, turn 4, just to be able to have a tower online, and even sometimes turn 6 if you want to protect it. But I just kind of got tired of the hassle looking for it, so I decided to just go down to 2 because it's not like it is a win condition, but it's not the one thing we absolutely have to see at this point since the meta's currently changing. So I went up to 4 anticipates instead of the 3. I put in Grasp of Darkness because I'm tired of getting hit by so small creatures for a whole bunch. So I decided to add that in. Still got the 4 Glimmers, 3 Disallows, 1 Void Shatter, but I decided to add that and add 1 Harness Lightning. So to the mana base, I went ahead and added Gyre Reach Sanitarium and got rid of a swamp and a mountain to have these. It's super good because for you it's a whole bunch of card advantage, and you could even throw away uh, instants or sorceries. So and then you Gear Hulk and you can cast them for free. And where is it? Okay. And if your target's an aggro player, he's gonna have no hand. So anytime you do this, you're basically milling him. Sorry. I added Jason here because I just decided he's a huge. He can win us the game if he's left alone. And he's really good for the draw. And if we run out of removal spells, his -2, buys us a turn. So I decided to add the Jason here. I took out Liliana of the Last Hope. You can still use her. She's still really good. It's just I try to keep the Planeswalkers to a minimum at this point because they'll just get beat to death if you got a bad hand. So I added 1 Ruinous Path to the main board, and I added 2 Transgress the Mines. So you'll probably, honestly, at the very beginning, you're not going to see this card, but it's just if you do, it's a good hand pick. It gets rid of, you get to see their hand, know what you're about to go up against, and you get rid of something that can be really traumatizing to you, and you get better on the hand pick, or not the hand picks, but you get better hand selection. Sorry, my vapor dropped as I was trying to hit it or pick it up, but yeah, it's great for getting rid of really big threats. Alright, so here's the sideboard. I kind of tinkered with it, so it's a little strange. So I still got the two Cletuses. I added metallurgic summonings for the simple fact that it creates us tokens to survive. So when you cast Glimmer Genius, this will trigger, and you'll get a 4/4 colorless construct artifact. It goes off. It says when you cast, create an XX, where XX is the total converted mana cost. I mean, it's not going to be like super huge because we got the 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 3. So I mean, it's not like super huge, but I mean, it still gets us some dudes on the board, and we can eventually overwhelm them or just use them as blockers. Still got 2 Ceremonious Rejections. I decided to take all the Fatal Pushes out of my deck and put them in the sideboard because, face the facts, it is hard to trigger Revolt in this deck. You don't run many creatures. You have 4 Evolving Wilds, and we don't run clues. So I just decided to put them in the sideboard because if you're going against true aggro, just sideboard that in, and you're great and you'll do something, but just know you're not triggering Revolt easily in this deck. I mean, you could try it. I mean, there's still the possibilities of drawing a Fatal Push and Evolving Wilds and a Swamp, but still, face the odds in this deck and control, you are not pushing Fatal Push very easily. I hate to say it, it's a great card, but you ain't getting it very easily. You got 2 negates, took one out, and left it at 2. There's no need to run so many counters because the metagame, so I decided to put that 1 to the slaughter because if they got a big Ulamog on the field, that's their only creature, he has to get sacked. And we can meet Delirium in this deck. You just kind of have to tinker with it, but you can sure do it. Left that alone. I added Release the Gremlins because I'm tired of Mardu vehicles. So this will get rid of all their vehicles, and we'll get Gremlins for it. It's pretty good. And then here's another Ruinous Path in the sideboard. So, we can get rid of that 1 Void Shatter and put in the path, or get rid of and anticipate for it, or whatever. It's just whatever you feel like you need to do with that current situation. But yeah, guys, this is the newer deck that I put together. It works. It does better now, but I'm not gonna tell you guys, oh, this deck can beat all aggro. This deck has shifted more towards aggro than just the super controlling factor because you can't control aggro. I mean, that's just the first rule of control is don't try to rule aggro. Aggro rules you. So, but it did okay towards mid-range before I put anything in. But, I mean, it's still the simple fact. We were lacking a whole bunch of removal. We were only relying on the unlicensed disintegrations. We only had 3 of. So I just decided to put the grasps in so we could, grasp Gideon to death or something. But still, it runs a little bit smoother now. You don't have to rely on Gear Hulk as much, but that is still our main win condition. But you can tower them, you can Jace them, or even Chandra. She's super great. I mean, super great. It fits us really well if she's left alone. And everything else is more situational. Like that is if you're going against mid-range, little aggro-ish builds if you feel like you can survive the first 3 or 4 turns. And that's just strictly for artifact hate. And then that's for the Saheeli combo and towers against Saheeli combo. Then you got this for Eldrazi's, or even control decks that run a tower. Super great. For towers and such. And then this is just for simple aggro, mid-range, destroy everything and give us a better chance. But yeah, guys, tell me what you think about this deck and what I've done. I'm probably going to play in my local card store tonight and play it most likely. Don't know yet. I'm trying to decide between my blue-green energy or my green-white humans or this. But I'm a huge control player. It always favors in my odds when it comes to deciding on decks. So I'll most likely run this. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments box. And like this video, subscribe to me. It'd be really helpful, especially what's going on with YouTube right now. YouTube is losing advertisements, and they're losing contracts with people. So YouTube is losing money, and because they're losing money, YouTubers like PewDiePie, Boogie2988, well, I'm not gonna say Manosaurus, but you know, every guy that's pretty big on YouTube is gonna eventually lose money because of everybody pulling out because of this journalist that just kept hammering YouTube, just hammering, hammering, and hammering, and it finally reached out to people, and they just started cutting ties from YouTube. So if you haven't noticed, there hasn't been a whole lot of advertisements on things on people's channels when you're watching a video. Yeah, that's because YouTube's losing ads. If they continue to lose ads, people like me and other people are trying to get big on YouTube or trying to get started won't have the chance to make money, and eventually YouTube could actually crash from not making enough money to keep the servers online, because the way it is uh, every time you watch a video and you see an ad, YouTube and the YouTube channel, they split it two ways, and then for every certain amount of clicks, the person that puts the ad there gets more money than, you know, the YouTube guy. And YouTube, it's kind of, you know, the more you click. So, you know, watch people's channels if you want to help out. There's a whole bunch of donations you could do, or, you know, or just simply, you know, click on people's videos, watch your old favorite ones. You know, it helps them out tremendously. It helps YouTube, and it'll give YouTube the better grasp to get more potential investors, so YouTube doesn't crash. And it'll give people like me, you know, a better chance, because some people actually live off YouTube. Some people use this as a part-time job, a full-time job, and because of all the investors pulling out, they're losing money, and people like me won't have a chance of being able to be a somebody in the internet world, and that's not what I really want to do, is lose out on that opportunity. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. It means a lot. Like I said, like this video, subscribe, comment if you got questions, or just, you know, got opinion about something. Please let me know. It'd be awesome. Alright guys, this is Adam signing off.